if you could say a little bit about when you were born and just the early part of your life
Yeah.
and how that was.
I was born in San Francisco, and my mother died, so then my father drifted away, and I ended up with relatives down in L.A. and San Diego. So I grew up there, basically, yeah. And went to school there in the high school, and joined the CCCs, Civilian Conservation Corps, because of the extreme poverty throughout after the First World War. And so I quit high school and joined that for a year, fighting forest fires and maintaining the national forests. And came back, went to school a little while, said, forget it, I'm wasting too much time here. The Marine Corps was stationed right there in San Diego, so I naturally drifted to the Marines. I joined the Marines there in 1939. I was stationed aboard an aircraft carrier, Lexington, and stationed in Pearl Harbor. But we covered the whole Pacific area, all our possessions and stuff. In the meantime, Japan was conquering all the Mid-East. In 1930, they'd conquered Manchuria, had gone down all the way to the coast, to conquering China and Burma, the Philippines, and all the islands north of Australia. So Japan was a force to be threatened by. Anyway, while I was there in 1939, there was 90 of us Marines were aboard ship, and we manned the cannons. Took 15 men to fire our cannon. But anyway, I was stationed there and patrolling the whole Pacific area, and then during that part of the Japanese conquest and the threat they posed, they sent their envoys over to Washington, D.C. in 1942, yeah. And there was discussions going on there, and they fell apart. And the admiral in Washington sent word to us to be on the alert in the Pacific. So we had a lot of possessions out there, the Midway Islands, and so that we got orders to take a squadron of Marine fighter planes to Midway Island to reinforce them. So we left Pearl Harbor Friday before the Japanese attack, and we were on our way to Midway Islands with the squadron of Marine fighter planes. But we were about halfway there when we got word that Pearl Harbor, Sunday morning, got word that Pearl Harbor was being bombed. So we came right back. And then the conquest with Japan started then. And towards the end, there, in 1944, we were finally taking Guam. The Japanese had occupied that. And so we were taking that island, and I got shot. I was a platoon sergeant in charge of 35, 40 men. I got wounded, and they dumped me off on an island with a little hospital manned by some French missionaries. I finally got back here to San Francisco, or Oakland, naval hospital here. And in the meantime, after being wounded and thinking of what to do with my life, I was thinking of dedicating my life to do something meaningful. I didn't know what. But anyway, I was thinking maybe joining the priesthood. I said, forget it. My education is zilch. And I didn't realize there were religious men dedicated to religious life, aside from the priest. So, and I was engaged to a girl in the meantime, but a chaplain would come around. He handed out Catholic magazines, and there were the advertisements in the magazine about religious life. So I asked the chaplain, "What are these guys all about? They're not priests or anything else. What are they all about?" He said, "Well, when you recover, you can go down here, a few blocks down here to St. Elizabeth's, and you can meet some Franciscan friars there. They'll tell you all about the religious life." After I was able to get around a bit, I came down and knocked on the door, and this big 6'6" friar with religious habit and sandals and everything. Said, "Well, what the heck is this? Where did this come from?" I'd heard of Friar Tuck, but I never had encountered or anything religious like that. So he told me all about the religious life and the friars and the brothers. And I said, "Oh, this is it. I can join this outfit here and do something meaningful with my life." So when I recovered, back down to San Diego and got out of the Marines in 1945, when the war was over, they released me. And so it was natural. I was near San Luis Rey, and I joined them there. I was there for 3 years, I guess, and then to the novitiate in San Miguel. And then after San Miguel was complete, I went to Mission Santa Barbara for about a year there, and was on the door helping out, doing maintenance and giving tours. And then after a year, I was sent to help here to San Francisco to St. Boniface Church, and the brother on the door there had died, so I was taking his place, and so I was there with Father Alfred for about 5 years, and it was a natural thing all over the whole country. So many poor people coming around. The people would be lined up outside waiting for a sandwich or some help or whatever they needed, and they would hassle the people trying to get into church to go to Mass, and it created a big block. So Father Alfred's door was next to mine, right for the front of the entrance, and we talk once in a while about different things, and I just mentioned it as getting to be a rough deal for the poor people, and also the others trying to get into church and come to Mass, and so he had to think about what to do about changing it. And he remembered there was an old empty garage underneath in the basement, And he dreamed the idea of making a kitchen down there for the poor, and having an entrance down on the way down the others back about a block away from the entrance there. So that finished the blockade. So after 5 years there, I was transferred to Provo, Utah. There's 20 years of history there with Father Coleman. We had a very poor parish. Father Coleman decided to build a new church and a school, and we had to have buses to cover a lot of small towns nearby. So we started with the trading stamp deal with a green stamp company and a gold stripe company to made a deal with them to furnish us with 3 school buses with trading stamps. But anyway, I felt a need to expand myself a little bit more with some poor and more needy people, so I started making contact and going down and to the Apache reservations, and Ed Fransky came and was with me for a while, and then I went over to New Mexico and I'm doing to join them there for a number of years. And then I find out, I decided there's a lot poorer areas overseas, down in South America. So I volunteered to go down there. I ended up different places down there, Honduras, Orphanage for a while, and then came back to a more poor area in Peru for 7 years. Those were my best years. Living up at 13,000 feet, remote areas, in poor areas, and
You were at Mission San Antonio too, I think.
oh, that's afterwards.
That's afterwards. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was designed different places. Yeah, Mission San Antonio and San Miguel, up in Washington, Spokane. From Spokane for 5 years.
And do you have anything that you would tell these young men? Any suggestions that you would give them about becoming a Franciscan, or, finding their path?
We seem to have come to a big moment in the history of our provinces and the order itself all over the world. I don't know. It's a big for the future. It's coming to a strong focus now, looking for some more meaningful vocations outside of parish work.
What about, you mentioned in the beginning that you had thought about being married and were engaged, and then also you mentioned in the beginning you just knew of the priests you knew, and you didn't know about the religious community or being lay brother.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now, looking back, about being a lay, choosing to be a friar and then choosing to be a lay brother? Has it worked out for you, or do you kind of think back and think, what were the other paths like? Or
No, it's been a very full, occupied life. never a dull moment. And involved with all different kinds of people. Even here, the people I used to pick up in the school bus got married, were in the kindergarten, and they're now married and have families. They've come here to visit me. And their grandparents for me. I never had time to think about getting married. Once I joined the Marines, it was all over the South Pacific in all those years, and fighting the war. So there was a lost contact. Once occasionally mail. So there was no time for any kind of development or a relationship with the girl. So, and then after I got wounded, trying to decide for my future, for something very meaningful in my life besides killing. Well, once I heard about the friars, helping out other people, and the whole way of life, it seemed like a great opening for me, since I had no vision of any kind of future for me in this country or settling down anywhere. I was in the water all my life, practically, and very occupied. Every place I went with the friars, I learned more, faster, quick. It was easy for me to, and I learned a lot about survival in many different ways.
What kind of things did you learn when you were missionary in South America? What kind of things do you learn, like when you're in another country with the native Peruvian peoples?
Well, the whole time was sharing with them. The bishop there gave me faculties to baptize and marry and bury. And one family they woke me up in the middle of the night to bury the little baby, the pre-born. So I had to do the two different languages with Spanish. And so I managed to have the main leader of the village, whatever village I was in, accompany with and translate into the Quechua language. Because when we first went there, Tom Messner and I started to take a course in Quechua. We were only into it in 2 weeks, and the bishop came. This was up at 13,000 feet at Cusco, and we were taking a language course at Cusco, and the bishop came and said, "I've got an emergency. They're ready to kill this one priest out in this other area, so I got to get him out of there. Will you two take over?" So sure, yeah, we dropped the course and forgot up the language.
Now, what about your life here at Mercy. How has that been for a couple of years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it, I've had all kinds of time, and there's been the privilege of going to Mass every day, having communion, and lots of privacy and time to keep contact with people who are different, right from me. And, a lot of free time, a lot of good reading, solid reading. Just never had time to do before. It was all the work, patchwork of everything. It's been a full life. I've never known a dull moment. I never.
Did you have a friar or somebody who really mentored you, or kind of coached you along, or encouraged you? You know.
And who are your peers?
Yeah, I worked with Ed Frosky for about 3 years or so. And he would share, we have different villages to take care of, scattered villages. Ed Frosky would give me the opportunity to help him out in taking care of some of these outlying areas. And it was the same way in Latin America with Tom Messner. We split up the territory, we had a 100-mile territory, and all by foot. No roads, no electricity, no nada.
Is there anything else that you want to add, or that you want to say to anybody, or any messages that you think are important for people to know? You know.
Well, all I can say is from my background is to let people know that anything is possible. I never had to go to any kind of training or schooling for any of my work at all. I just jumped in and started drilling whatever it was.
Well, thank you again. Zeno, do you have any other comments? No? Okay. That was really, really good. It was...
Say goodbye.
Adios.